This morning, French President Emmanuel Macron met with his Ukrainian counterpart, Vladimir Zelensky, who sat down awkwardly with Russian President Vladimir Putin a couple days ago. I'm referring to Emmanuel Macron here, but it was odd. Macron had a mask on. Putin didn't have a mask. They were sitting at some table out of Beauty and the Beast.
Apart.
It was. Take a look at this right here. If Vladimir Putin's not playing games, I don't know what he's doing there.
Yeah. It's very awkward.
Very odd.
For more on this, in studio, let's welcome in former Chief of Staff for the Trump Defense Department, Kash Patel. Kash, great to have you in studio with us.
Great to be back with you guys.
Yeah, of course. So Kash, Macron, he sat with Vladimir Zelensky, who said, "We're not his." When referring to Putin, this was in response to the Russian president's use of very blunt, condescending language when speaking about Ukraine. These verbal negotiations, they don't seem to be going anywhere.
No. Can I just point out the first problem with this? That the Commander-in-Chief of the United States of America is not sitting at a table talking to the Russian premier.
Exactly.
It's another world leader, which just demonstrates how far we've fallen on the global stage.
Yeah, and sort of a rookie
point.
Politician. Emmanuel Macron hasn't been in the spot that long. He's young, doesn't have a ton of experience. And here, I mean, if there's ever a situation with a senior and a junior partner, it's Vladimir Putin and Emmanuel Macron at that table.
No, I mean, you're right. Look, Joe Biden has been running for president for 40 years. He was in the Senate Foreign Relations Committee for 25 of those years. You're right. He's supposed to know foreign policy. That's what he ran on. And we have a total vacuum in American leadership, and it's now being filled by a French premier, which is supposed to be our ally, but he's not looking out for America's best interest.
Yeah, how about, Mr. President, go prevent a war in Eastern Europe?
That would be a good start.
Wouldn't that be a good start? But he can't send Kamala Harris, can he?
Not unless you want the border situation to migrate over to the Ukraine.
Right. Well,
that would
it looks like we're going to have that situation. If Russia does invade, we're hearing the numbers could be 5 million refugees.
I mean, here's what I think of the whole. I think I've said this publicly on your show. I don't think Vladimir Putin's dumb enough to invade and start World War III. I think what he's doing is using his propaganda machine to focus all the energy in the world on him winning, and he's winning the narrative. The U.S. is literally nowhere to be found, and so he looks above the U.S. on the global stage.
How nervous should we be, though, that he's just becoming buddies with China?
Oh, that's actually probably the best point I've heard in recent time. The fact that Russia and China are running the same exact playbook, Xi Jinping with Taiwan and Vladimir Putin with the Ukraine, should be threatening to American global, democracy. And no one's talking about it. And Russia
is it real? The Russia-Chinese dynamic? Because it's not ideological. They don't align there. But it could be out of convenience, gang up against America.
I mean, didn't Putin just go to the Beijing genocide games to hang out with
He was there day one.
Day one.
Partying.
That is a statement in and of itself.
Right.
We have no diplomats there, rightfully so. These two guys are there, and I think they can put aside their differences to compete for 1-2 if their target is the United States of America. And it's a no-brainer from their foreign policy perspective. Like, why don't we just hit pause on you and I, and let's go after America?
We saw it in Sochi in 2014. Crimea was annexed right after the Russian Olympics. Vladimir Putin invades. We might see it again. When these Olympics wrap up, we could see China move on Taiwan. We could see Russia move on Ukraine. If they're going to do it, they've got to do it soon. The winter freeze is approaching. Right,
and you're totally right. And I think what this administration is setting up, I know you saw what the National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said, is like, invasion is imminent, invasion is imminent. What I think they're setting up is when invasion doesn't happen, they're going to go to the world stage and say, we saved the world from invasion.
Exactly. Opposite of Afghanistan.
Except the president wasn't in Ukraine, in Russia talking to Putin. It was Macron.
Yeah.